What's up, G Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is Gaming with the G Show. And we got a stacked house. I'm very, very happy to welcome back my brother. It's been a while since he's been here. He's been quarantining or self-quarantining. I don't know why. I don't think he's sick or anything. Just probably in the head. But Gam Z1, my brother Drew, is back. What's up, man?
I wasn't self-quarantining. I was busy being a shark.
A baby shark?
Baby shark.
Oh man. Well, if that's anything to go by, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Also joining me, as always, my right hand when it comes to the big guy on the G Show, even though we're not talking about the big guy right here. But Megzy, a.k.a. G73, a.k.a. my brother Chase. What's up, brother?
Man, it's nice to be back just after a simple couple hours of break.
Yeah, right? That's exactly what it feels like, right? So
we just did this yesterday.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, so anyway, this one, ladies and gentlemen, Game with the G Show. There is, I want to talk about the PlayStation 4. I just want to, I got these guys together, man. We were just having a group chat, and yeah, I was like, you guys want to go? Let's have a podcast and just talk about this shit, because first off, these dudes are gamers, so I value their opinions on this stuff. And yesterday, once we finished the Godzilla block party, Chase and myself, we spoke for about maybe 20 more minutes and stuff, and we were talking about the state of the PlayStation and Sony and what they've done and what they're going to be doing. And it pretty much started off with, I think Chase had said something like he wonders what they're going to do next for the PS4, which I said, I think that's it. They're not doing anything else after Ghost of Tsushima. That's probably, if I'm not mistaken, their last exclusive for this generation. Now, we know like Cyberpunk 2099, whatever it's called, is coming out, and whatever other non-exclusive multi-platform games are coming out that'll be on the PS4, the Xbox One, and also the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. But Sony, one of the things I was thinking about yesterday, that, you know, me and Chase were talking about off air, and now we're going to do it on air, is they, in the PS4 era, did not do more than one game for their franchises. And with that, what I mean by that is, we're going to use Uncharted for an example, because there were 2 Uncharted games that came out for the PS4 exclusively. But one of those games wasn't really like a Nathan Drake adventure. And when you think Uncharted, Nathan Drake is at the forefront. So if you played Uncharted 4, and it's not a spoiler because this game's been out for a while now, you know at the end of Uncharted 4, Nathan Drake is an older man. I mean, that's it. His adventures are over. So it seems. You never know. You could do another one where he's like Indiana.
I hope it stays that way. Yeah. After The Last of Us 2.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
I don't want no Kingdom of the Crystal Skull kind of thing.
That's exactly where I was going. Now, you could be like Indiana Jones 4, but, you know, maybe Uncharted 4 was a nice send-off for Nathan Drake. But that Lost Legacy, to me...
daughter.
Lost Legacy was a great game, but it is, for all intents and purposes, it is an Uncharted game. I just didn't feel the same. It didn't have that Nathan Drake feel, that super adventurous feel. I loved it though. But what I mean by only one game, one franchise game per that system, no sequels, was you only got that one Nathan Drake adventure. Another franchise game, think about it. Infamous Second Son. There was only one Infamous during the PS4 generation. There was only one Killzone game. There was only one God of War game. Like, these are their franchise games that have been on since going as early as PS2 to now. And, you know, it got me thinking like, whoa, when you compare that to what Microsoft was doing over with the Xbox, we got 2 Gears of War games, 4 and 5. You can count, if you want to count the Funko Pop one, that's 3 Gears of War games. And this is the conversation I was having with Chase yesterday. We had Halo 5. We also got the Master Chief Collection, which, you know, people could say, oh, it's just a bunch of the same olds from, you know, the 360 and the original Xbox. Yes, but they also have the really, really dope and awesome Halo 2 anniversary edition where they completely, to me at least, remade that game from scratch. Like, it's gorgeous. It's such an enhancement, and it came in a collection. So like, they were doing that with their exclusives. They, it just felt like there was more bang there for their buck. That's not to take away nothing from Sony. Again, Sony is an exclusive-based company. Like, their shit is their exclusives and they work, right? And I'm going to get to something in a minute, but I just want, starting with you, Gams, like, do you feel that maybe Sony missed out by only doing one game for their franchises, for their franchises that are now in the sequels, because they also came out with like Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, Days Gone, like, but these were brand new games, made, for this generation.
I think the PS4 was the generation where they were pushing the brand new experiences rather than the sequels. Because, like you said, they only really had one game per franchise. I mean, God of War, that's one thing. I mean, you had God of War 3 and Ascension on the PS3, but that was pretty much it.
Right.
From what I understand is Sony, as technology improves, games take longer and more money to even like make them. So on one hand, yeah, it does suck that we don't have God of War 5, Uncharted 5, all this other sort of stuff, that the sequels to the beloved franchise didn't roll out more regularly.
Right.
But the PS4 is such a powerful system, and Sony is really pushing the whole cinematic angle to most of their games these days.
That is true.
That they take forever to make.
Yeah, that is true. But like, Horizon Zero Dawn came out at such a, I would say early in the console generation, was like maybe 4 years in, about.
Just about, yeah.
I mean, 3-4 years, it's perfect time to get a sequel. But I mean, we're getting one now, but it's going to be on PS5 exclusive, And that's one of those things that's like, it's kind of messing with. Hell, fucking, we're getting Halo Infinite on the Xbox One.
Yeah, we're getting both. That's the thing that I'm confused about. They announced all these launch exclusives for the PS5. And usually with launch exclusives, for people who cannot afford the next generation console, they'll put a slightly downgraded version of that same game on the previous generation. I mean, take a look at looking over at another company with Nintendo. They had a version of Breath of the Wild for both the Wii U and the Switch.
Right.
So why isn't Sony doing that?
Absolutely. Chase, you got anything you want to add to this?
It's true. What Andrew said. I was watching Raising Kratos, the documentary of God of War that they put together to show what was going on, and I learned some interesting tidbits. I didn't know Santa Monica was basically going out of business after God of War Ascension. And that's why they were in a lot of turmoil during that time. But that's kind of irrelevant to this. But it took God of War almost five years to make. And that's just how the train track record has been. Look at regardless of your feelings of The Last of Us 2, that game took 6 years to make. These AAA games where Sony's coming at, I gather they're wanting to make more exclusives that they can. If they're not in the same franchise, that's one thing, but they're trying to cater to not just one type of franchise. They're trying to make as much as they can, or they can within the time limit of the console, and just open many more experiences, which I think is a great thing, because in between, in my opinion, you have these games that aren't exclusives that fill in, and when you get that exclusive, finally, after you've played a game that's piggybacked, it kind of feels great. It's like, oh, cool, we get this big budget type thing after we just played this other game, and it kind of makes it seem more special. But no, that's just how it is nowadays, and where I come from with Xbox is that as much as I love PlayStation, as much as I love Xbox, I feel like even though I've had many games on the Xbox from the same exclusive, I like the variety of exclusives from Sony.
Right.
Because right now I'm not digging Gears 5. Gears
Halo
of War
5 was
4.
garbage.
I haven't played Halo 5 yet, but I want to. I actually think it looks pretty cool, but I could be disappointed. But other than that, I don't really know what exclusives Microsoft has really put out. Destiny has totally failed. Whether you want to look at it, Destiny was a dud. Destiny 2 was a very underperforming game and still is. That's just how MMOs go, though. I don't know, other than that, what exclusives Microsoft has to offer. I haven't really been paying attention to much either, but
Even then, they're not really exclusive because Microsoft also offers them through the Microsoft Store on PC.
Yeah, that too. And also, I feel like with the Game Pass, as much as that's great in affordability, and it's great to have old games from years ago, I feel like that's where they focused on mostly this year. So it doesn't really bother me as much. I don't mind having the in-between, playing all these games and then getting another God of War or another Witcher game, even though that's not an exclusive.
Right.
These triplet, it's just how it is nowadays, people are, they're cashing in on the multi-million-dollar games, and sometimes they're big payoffs. The gaming industry for at least these games has been great. Look at God of War, and Horizon Zero Dawn,
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeez. You made a couple of really good points there. One I'm going to touch on because that's pretty much the topic conversation I want to bring to your attention. But the one I'll start with is like with God of War being 5 years in the making and stuff. I was watching something on YouTube the other day with Horizon Zero Dawn, like the genesis of that game, and that game too was like in production I think since 2007. Or something, and you had to see like the early animatics for that. And the crazy thing was, as archaic as those animatics looked, you saw the game in it. You saw what you actually played. So I was like, wow, look, like they had that there already in like let's say 2007, 2008, and then they showed the progression. And I was just like, holy crap, like that's dope. So I like what Gam said. It does Sony's making these more cinematic games, and it takes a while, and of course, it's going to take a hell of a lot of money too. And I totally get that. Like, I'm being bitter because yes, for instance, PS3, we did get 2 God of War games, right? We got 3, we got Ascension. PSP, we again, is what we talked about yesterday, Chase. PSP, you got Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta. PS2, you got 1 and 2. Like they were coming, and granted, this God of War game was completely different, right? Completely different, and the 5 year time, the 5 years it took to make this game is justified in the end product. Whether you like the end product or not, that's this guy right here. I'm pointing at myself. I liked it. I wasn't thrilled with it.
It's my favorite God of War now.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the polite words for that, but fuck you. But but I totally understand that, and it's like so. All right, I want to look at it like I want to break this down real quick.
Before you go, I am just a big fan of D&D. So playing God of War in that style, I just fucking eat it up. Okay. I love the exploration aspect of it. I think it's awesome.
That's cool. And I'm gonna tell you something. Gears of War 5 tried to do what God of War 4 did and failed miserably. Absolutely.
See, I haven't got there yet. I haven't beaten the first mission of Gears 5 yet.
Oh no, well, what I mean, and it's not a spoiler, but dude, get prepared to just like travel in some sand or on some icy plain for, you know, hours of play. It's just absolutely corny. I was very disappointed with that. That's a different story. The PlayStation 4 hits, no doubt, right? As far as their games, they're absolute hits. We can talk without going into spoilers because somebody, that's me again, did not play it. We'll talk about Last of Us 2 in a second. But from when they came out, first off, Sony, you know, for a fact, came out of the gates. And I think this is where I'm like, is Sony being complacent here? Thinking, well, we came out of the gates with PS4 and everybody bought it up because... Think about what they did. The price was right. That's it. End of story. The price was right. It didn't matter. The games are going to be there, right? But whether they had the exclusives or not, if you was a Sony fanboy, you were buying a PlayStation 4 for, you know, Modern Warfare or whatever. Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed, whatever non-exclusive. But if you weren't like that, then you're buying it for the Gears of War, for the Uncharted, for the God of Wars, for the Uncharteds, right? For Infamous and Killzone, because those were the launch titles, right? But the price was right out of the gate. People ate that up.
What's funny is I got a PS4 because of the Godzilla Bandai game.
Well, I didn't buy it for that because remember, it also came out on the PS3. So I mean, like, and that's like what Game was saying. Like, you know, Nintendo, they put Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, and then they had the really good looking one on the Switch. You know, it makes sense. Nintendo. And I think that's why they stay out of all this bullshit politicking and don't have all of those, you know, games like Modern Warfare or Tomb Raider and shit like that. Like, they do their own thing, and they're good with that. I can't get into Nintendo, though, so I won't, because I won't even know what I'm talking about. Mario Odyssey don't make no damn sense. Anyhow, Sony, hit after hit after hit, pretty much like all of their exclusives that came out on a PS4, especially after, you know, Infamous and Killzone, because I don't know, I was looking at some reviews. I just played Infamous Second Son during quarantine time, so like within the past 3 months.
Question about Infamous real quick.
Yeah.
What is there a DLC for the Infamous Second Son called like Last Light or something like that?
It's DLC, but it's also kind of like a separate game, kind of like that vampire expansion to Infamous 2.
Okay, so it's like the Uncharted Lost Legacy thing, stuff like that. Like it's like a campaign DLC, Okay, cool.
I didn't get that.
I was curious about that. I have yet to play Infamous 2. I mean the Infamous 2. I want to, but I don't know if it's worth it at this point.
Infamous Second Son, if you could get it for dirt cheap, I say get it for dirt cheap. It's a fun experience. It's also a very quick experience. I mean, I was done with that game in like 10 hours. Maybe less.
I still have it via my PlayStation Plus, but I haven't reactivated my PlayStation Plus in months, so I haven't been able to play it.
Okay.
Yeah, I zipped right through that game. I was like, oh my god, it's over. It was like less than a week and I was done. I was like, and I wasn't even playing it like religiously. I was just like, wow, okay, we're done. But, you know, Spider-Man, which to me is still, that's my favorite PS4 game. That and Horizon Zero Dawn. I gotta flip a coin. That's how it goes. Uncharted 4, you know, right now you got Ghost of Tsushima coming out tomorrow.
The perfect example you mentioned earlier, you guys both mentioned about Sony doing cinematic type games. Look at The Order 1886, for example. That was the greatest movie I ever played.
I forgot about those games like that. What was it like?
I loved that game, though. You know, and the thing is that game didn't have a lot of gameplay, but the gameplay that it had was really fun. It was basically just 1886 Gothic Gears of War with vampires and werewolves. And it was the coolest fucking thing, man. There's a fucking werewolf battle and shit.
That was an exclusive game, right?
It was a PlayStation exclusive, yeah.
And that game came out early in its life, right?
It came out
It did, and it didn't do too well in the critic reviews, but like looking back on it, it especially considering today's AAA like third party outings, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'd rather play The Order 1886 10 times over some of those microtransaction filled garbage.
I cannot wait for Squadrons. Yes. But okay, so that's gonna bring me to the point I wanted to make with y'all and ask you this question, because this is where it dawned on me, and I kind of was at the end of the day disappointed with Sony. I was like, man, and it's crazy because again, my PS4 library, I believe, is sick. I love it. From Godzilla to God of War to Uncharted to Horizon to fucking Spider-Man, baby. I love Spider-Man. Love it. Love it. Fuck, it's like the best superhero game ever made. And that's coming from a Batman fan who loves the Arkham series. Okay? I'm just saying. But I noticed something about all of these games that kind of pissed me off. There really is no variation. Okay,
they're all third-person action games.
Thank you. What the fuck is going on? And this is what I was getting crazy about. I was like, wait a minute. Where's Resistance Fall of Man 4? Like, this is the time to pull the fucking trigger. Do it. Where's Resistance? Why was there only one Killzone game? What's going on there?
Killzone Shadows Fall did horribly.
And that's what I'm thinking too, because I didn't even remember about the Order 16
I
something
Shadows
something.
Fall though. I thought it was great.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, did Sony make a conscious decision to say we're gonna wean away from like the first person shooter or the puzzle games, and we're just gonna give you these over the shoulder third person action adventures?
So I think yes, because I believe one of the last last gen for the 360, one of the last games that came out, I believe in 2010, one of the last first-person shooters. Let's see. You may remember this game, but I won't tell you it. Let's see. Xbox. So, do you guys remember a game called Singularity?
Yes. Actually,
made by Activision. I love that game. That is my favorite first-person shooter. That came out in June of 2010. Critically, it was fun. It did well, and everyone enjoyed it for what it was. I guess, as what I'm reading the reviews. But because of Call of Duty taking up the storm of first-person shooters, a lot of if you even look now, there's not very many first-person shooters right now on Xbox that are different than Halo and Call of Duty. Titanfall was one of those games that tried to contend it, and it got railed too. Even though Titanfall 2 is one of the best first-person shooters I've ever played.
There's always Doom.
And
Doom. Doom's a good one.
But Doom is not. That's not exclusive though.
It's not, no.
Right.
But Doom is,
yeah.
Well,
neither was Singularity. Singularity was on Xbox and PS3. But however, I remember reading an article a while back saying that it's not just Sony, it's Xbox too. They've been discouraged making first-person shooter games because there was this big peak of they tried making a lot. Like there was a game called Body Count, which was horrible. There was a couple other games that were just lackluster, and Call of Duty all these first-person shooter fans, they got sucked into either Call of Duty or Halo. Now, if you're like me, you like Metro. The Metro games are great, but those are more Fallout-esque type first-person shooters. They're campaign single-story games, but the Exodus opened up a sandbox style, which was cool, but I prefer the more train track type stuff. But it did great. But the problem is they're not very abundant. They're scarce, and I remember reading about that. That's due to Call of Duty. Call of Duty has made it very hard for game developers to make first-person shooters because either people won't buy them or the critics just rip them up, or they're not confident in them.
I'm gonna oppose that notion. Not saying that that's your notion. That you read that somewhere, and that makes sense. I totally see it. But I'm gonna oppose that and say they did it already, because in the PS3 and the Xbox 360 era, that was where Call of Duty was born and was blowing up. and they still had time to make not one, not two, but 3 Resistance games. They still had time to make not one, but 2 Killzone games, and that's what pisses me off.
Where's Resistance now?
But that's my point.
Where's that game Mag now?
But that's what I'm saying.
First-person shooters.
But that's my point, is that they were able to do it. And I'm not saying that Call of Duty isn't at its height, but make no mistake about it, a lot of people are being turned off by a lot of the shit Call of Duty's doing, and they're going back to basics. Right. You know what I mean? But when Call of Duty was hitting, when Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops was out, dude, they were making these other games, and that's my whole thing. It's like, don't run away from that. Why? Well, I'm talking about Sony in general here, because Microsoft's still doing it. They are still doing the Halo games. You know what I'm saying? They are still, even though Gears of War is over the shoulder, whatever, but they're still doing their first persons. You know, and I'm pretty sure on Game Pass you can find a shit ton. Hell, I mean, as much as I wish this shit would happen, you know, Left 4 Dead was an Xbox exclusive, you know?
That can't count to 3, though.
They cannot. You're absolutely right. What they can do, though, is drop a VR behind a Half-Life. Get out of here with that shit. It drives me up a wall, and I'm not taking that away from that.
And the Left 4 Dead guys are making a new zombie game that's coming out, too.
And that's my whole thing.
Left 4 Dead, though.
It's like, exactly, and that's my whole thing. It's like, we have these games, but I'm talking about, like, franchise games that were really good. That really, and I'm not saying put Sony on the map, but put this different niche on the map in terms of gaming, because Killzone and Resistance are first-person shooters, but when you play each game, if you play each, you can tell how vastly different they are too. It's like the idea of, you know, you fighting aliens in like World War II era Earth, and then the progression to 3, like, it's insane. I loved that progression.
Resistance was a great first-person shooter franchise.
Exactly.
And I don't understand why we never got the 4th game.
And I don't want to say it was because of Call of Duty and these publishers are getting scared. I think it's more Sony was like, we don't need that. And I don't get why we don't need that. And maybe they're saying that because they're getting all the Call of Duties also, you know what I mean? Like, and remember that time where like Sony was getting like Call of Duty, get Call of Duty on the PlayStation, be the first to play the first DLC map pack. Oh God, I hate that. That's like stupid. It's like the timed release.
Xbox effed up and lost because it was originally Xbox.
All that to me is like, not, well, first off, I don't even play multiplayer, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm just like, it's
I haven't enjoyed Call of Duty in the past 4 years myself, so.
It hit me the other day. Me and my boy was talking about Ghost of Tsushima, and I was like, holy shit, yo, they have not made a first-person shooter from a Sony studio since like either Resistance 3 or Killzone. Well, Killzone, the one that came out on the PS4, that last Killzone game, and I have it, and I haven't even played it yet, which I gotta rectify. But it bothers me, man. It's like, yo, you had these classic games, and you had an entire system generation to do one or the other. You did Killzone, and then you could have done a sequel to Killzone. You had plenty of time to do it within this generation, and they didn't do it. They opt to make these games, and now we'll get into where I know y'all want to get at. Then you make Last of Us 2, which I love the first Last of Us. I really do. I remember.
Oh yeah, I love the first. I love the first Last of Us.
The first Last of Us was just one of the most magical times I've had playing a game.
Absolutely.
Because I streamed that game from start to finish, and like the only person that ever watched that stream was my brother. But it was such a fun time playing a game. And having my brother watch me play and just experiencing that together with him, because he's an Xbox player. He doesn't own a PlayStation.
Yeah, that must have been an eye-opener for him, right?
Oh, yeah, he bought a PlayStation 4 after I streamed Last of Us 2.
Nice. Wait, Last of Us 2? Oh, you dirty.
Oh, man.
No, not 2. The first one. He bought a PS4
I was gonna say.
after I streamed The Last of Us 1. Remastered.
Yeah, and that's crazy because like I got The Last of Us on a PS3, and I don't think I played on that. I traded it in, but then I got the remaster for dirt cheap. And dude, I played it, I beat it, and I put it right back on and played it again, right away. I was like, oh my god, I gotta play that again. Like I was blown away. I was like, I have to play that again, and I loved it. But then Last of Us 2's coming out.
You're gonna make me cry.
And
no. With not 2, it was remastered.
With Last of Us 2 coming out, right? One would have thought that this might have been the game for the PlayStation 4, right? Because Last of Us 1 was such a significant moment in Sony's library, right? And everybody adores that game, right? Like, you really... It's hard pressed to find negative reviews for the first Last of Us. I mean, you're going to have your haters, obviously, but, like, genuine, like, this game sucks reviews, I'm hard pressed to find.
Botched.
That, you're right, exactly. So you figure that because of that, Last of Us 2 is going to be, and then not only that, but then the delays, and this was pre-stupid pandemic, the delays, and I'm like, wow, they're really gonna put in their time because they're really gonna streamline and make this game, and then apparently, and I wouldn't know this personally because the only person on this 3-man panel here that has not played the game is me, yours truly. But then apparently Kathleen Kennedy comes out of nowhere and she leaves Star Wars and she goes to Sony and she mucks with The Last of Us 2. Apparently, I don't know, but I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna just throw my hands up right now. Whether I'm spoiled or not, I'm sure I'm gonna play this game anyway when it's about $15 or free on PlayStation Plus. But yeah, apparently it was not as well received as one might have thought. I'm confused as to why. It looked fantastic.
No, it's well received in the critic side of things. The critics, aka
the critics,
the paid chills loved it.
Oh, the shills loved it. So you go on like
and the Sun.
It's another Last Jedi Rotten Tomatoes situation.
Oh yeah, no, that was bought. I don't want to hear that shit. And that was bought.
Yeah, well, it's been confirmed that Naughty Dog has
reviews.
They bought a lot of their positive critic reviews for The Last of Us 2.
Wait, the game is that bad, bro? Gentlemen, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I feel like the delays were because they decided to change the whole game.
So you think they changed the narrative? That's why we got delayed?
Well, they're in trouble for false advertisement right now for the one trailer they put out. Well, see, the thing is, if we talk about it, Ray, it's just going to spoil it.
Okay, well, all right. I'm going to try to do this for my benefit, too, but I want y'all to get it off your chests. You know what I mean? And Chase, I know you've been like...
All right, I'm going to make this clear for the record. For all you at home sitting on the fence about The Last of Us 2, here is my honest, spoiler-free recommendation for whether or not you should play this game. Don't.
Don't do it, kids. It's like drugs. Stay away from it, right? But
I've been wanting to talk about this game with someone for so long.
I know you were like, I'll never forget that like late night text where you were just angry capping all like you were like a certain president of the United States on a rampage. I was like, what the hell's going on? Like everything all right? I thought like the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer dropped or something, and you were just so pissed off at it. But no, it was The Last of Us 2. I never have thought. I'm like, what's going on? Matter of fact, don't tell me. That's what I told him. I was like, what's wrong? Wait, don't tell me nothing. Now I want to be spoiled. But like you were pissed, and Games, I had no idea. Like you were pissed with it too. But okay, so
let's just.
I've been pissed about it for months because I was one of the unlucky few who saw the leaks.
All right, I want to ask this question then. What? Because I don't think this is too much spoiler stuff.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
If you like The Last of Us, if you like the first game, don't play the second game.
Wow, that's
just pretend the first game never got a sequel.
Yes, just pretend it's never getting a sequel.
Okay, well then, because... okay, so in my head...
And because of that, I want to belt into a rant why I think that it's like going angry.
Wait. So...
Oh, my God.
I mean, I'm pretty savvy, at least I think I am when it comes to things like this, and I can put 2 and 3 together and get 17, but I want to know what this false advertisement thing was without it being too on the head nailed. All right, let me just throw it out there. Let me just ask this question. Does Ellie die like in the first 10 minutes of the game?
No.
Oh, okay, then I don't give a fuck.
Someone else does.
Oh, but that was expected. That's just expected. That's how Sony does the things. The old guy gotta go. I mean, the father figure, the mentor.
Look, okay. How, I'm just going to say it, how Joel dies was expected. But the way they did it was basically, fuck the first game, we hate you, and there's no...
Yeah, it was literally a spit in the face to the first game.
Wait, so it was... So basically...
30 fucking minutes of the game.
It was the last Jedi then, it really was.
There was no reasoning, there was nothing.
All right. Okay.
It just happened for no reason. And then they force you to play the antagonist and try to like her. And
They forced you to play his killer.
Oh, thanks. That's the spoiler I didn't want to know.
Oh my god! They totally so the false advertisement is when you see that trailer and Joel says, "You think I'd let you do this alone?" In the game, it's not Joel; it's someone you don't care about.
Oh man! Wow.
And I hate that because I didn't look at the spoilers, but I bought the game going off of, oh cool, I'm gonna get a Joel and Ellie adventure again and pick up where the first game left off.
I want to play this. I want to play this game. I want to play this even more now.
But honestly, what makes me more mad is how Neil Druckmann is basically mocking the people that are upset. I don't appreciate what he's saying. I don't agree with what he's saying. I absolutely hate what he's saying. I think it's disrespectful.
He's literally abusing the YouTube copyright system to censor people who are bad-mouthing his game.
Oh my god!
And he's basically saying that if you didn't like my game, then well, you need to go get help. Which is, he's also saying that because the death threats sent to Laura Bailey, which I don't think was right. The death threats are never right. It's not her fault. The problem is that when you have players and they dislike your game, you need to understand why they disliked it. But the other problem is why did you make a game you knew and admit you knew people were not going to like right when you were writing the story?
Because
why would you make that game?
I mean, look. I totally get where you're coming from because, dude, Drew, you nailed this. This is The Last Jedi all over again. This literally is how I felt with The Last Jedi. But the difference between The Last Jedi and The Last of Us, oh my god, there's last in both titles, is Star Wars is a storied franchise. The Last of Us just came out a couple years back. So I'm not personally upset, but I could totally, like when I play, because now I really want to play this, right? I want to see exactly that moment. I want to see, now that I know, I had a feeling one of them would die, but I want to see now if I feel the same type of rage that not just you two, because I've seen it all over the place. I want to know if I feel that same type of rage.
There is a very good reason why The Last of Us 2 subreddit has the image banner that it does. I'm not telling you what it is, but it's really funny.
So now I'm really looking forward to playing this. I'm not going to play it anytime soon. I'm going to wait.
I fell in love with Joel and Ellie. That duo. I fell in love with them. And... but the thing is, it's not just that reason. It's everything else in between. Because it's also, they give you more stuff with Joel and Ellie in the game, but it's flashback shit.
Okay, just like
and
Last Jedi.
That's what's pissing me off. It's like, why couldn't you just give us a game that extends that further? Why does it have to be flashbacks? And the payoff of the game just ruins everything.
Wow.
It just... And I am so heartbroken and so furious. That's why I don't want Naughty Dog to make an Uncharted 5, because I don't want them to do the same to Nathan Drake, which I don't trust Druckmann to not do at this point. I don't even want them to make a third Last of Us.
I don't know.
I want it to be done.
I don't know. I personally don't think if they're going to do another Uncharted, like we said at the very top.
Well, Druckmann said that it's either Last of Us 3, Uncharted, or a new IP.
Do a new IP?
Oh, yeah, because just fuck Jak and Daxter, am I right?
Well, I thought there was a new Jak and Daxter coming out. Didn't they show that?
Ratchet and Clank.
That's the one. Never mind. Ratchet and Clank, right. Jak, they did the same thing in my book. I'm sorry. It looked freaking one big-eared alien thing and then either a little robot or something else. Come on, it's the same thing. Same damn thing. I never played any of those games, as you can tell. It wasn't my cup of tea. I was playing Resistance. Why ain't that? You want to be mad at something? Be mad at that. No Resistance. But, wow, okay, so now I'm really looking forward to actually playing this because I want to know if my rage is going to be justified just as yours were. That being said, before we wrap this up, I do want to take a small time out and say I'm sorry, especially to you, Drew, my buddy, my brother Gam Gams, because I not really mocked, but was kind of mocking the idea and notion of this silly little shark game.
The best game on PlayStation 4.
MANEATER is literally the same concept as The Last of Us 2, but done better and with a shark.
Wait. Before we get into this, because I do want to talk about it, I do want to know now a lot more about this. You had originally said, like, when we were talking about this a couple months back before the game dropped, you were saying that this was supposed to be like the Jaws Unleashed sequel, right?
The spiritual successor.
Spiritual successor. Because, dude, I'm telling you, I'm playing it and there's so many references to Jaws in there. And I'm not talking about like the funny, like Kill the Great White and them, you know, they're making fun of Jaws. I'm talking about
literally the
visuals.
license plates that you collect in MANEATER. Their numbers on those license plates is the same numbers on the license plate you pull that Hooper pulls out of the tiger shark's stomach in Jaws.
See, that's freaking dope. It's things like that. When you
it's the greatest callback to the 80s. 70s, 80s era of movies and culture. It's just a pop culture shark fest. I love it.
It really is, and I'm telling you, man, like
the Pacific Rim Easter egg, the It Easter egg. Those are the
Pacific Rim was so good.
I had the biggest grin on my face when I found that kaiju rift cage thing, and I had the biggest grin on my face when I saw the Happy Gilmore reference in the fucking golf course area.
Yo, I loved it. I will say the one that really got me was when you blow up the boat, like the first main boss fight you have with the main dude. Scaly Pete, and his boat blows up, and the fact that half the one side of the shark's face is burnt up like in Jaws 2. Dude, I loved it. I didn't even want to put like the stone head on my shark. I didn't want to put any other head on my shark just because I was like, this is so dope. Like, holy crap. All I was waiting for was for one of those boats to ram me in the neck when I was fighting hunters. Just, then it was there.
That's the beauty of MANEATER. You don't have to. I recently just did a challenge run of MANEATER called the No Evolution Challenge Run.
No,
where
that's
I go about the game with nothing on. Not even the advanced radar.
Are you kidding? Just the regular bullshit.
Hard as fuck, it sounds like.
It's very hard, but I still did it.
My goodness, bro. Yeah. Let me tell you what, as soon as I started playing that game, I was like, I don't see the appeal to this. These controls are wonky. I was pissed. I was like, I'm getting killed. Like, I gotta run away from this damn alligator. I'm a shark, damn it. I'm a shark. And then I started to grow, and it was relatively quick. That's one of the things I loved about it. You don't have to play this game for 12 hours and then, gain 1 XP. No, like, this should start coming. Just keep eating turtles, right? Like, just keep eating things. Oh my God, next thing you know, I'm like looking for alligators like, yeah, remember me, motherfucker? Come here. Let me get those.
Be careful who you call ugly in high school.
Yeah. those stupid Mako sharks were coming around just like freaking torpedoing me. I was like, oh yeah, come on, get over here. Oh, I love it. Like, dude, I remember my first.
I love it when those little Mako sharks, once you're at your full size, those little Mako sharks try to dart towards you. I'm just like, okay, dart towards me, straight into my mouth.
Right, exactly, dude. It was, and then that's when I was like really in love with it. I was like, I love these controls, and I'm like moving the camera angle around so I could actually see myself shake the shit out of these. I swallowed them. I was like, "This is great." Are you kidding me?
And I don't know if you guys figured this out, but if you move the camera up and down while you're in mid-air, like if you're jumping out of the air, you do flips.
Oh yeah. I noticed that when I was trying to freaking open up certain corridors. Well, yeah, I hit that little red button, and I couldn't. I kept flipping. I was like, "Come on, this is stupid. I don't want to go the long way. I don't want the shortcut. Can I get the shortcut?" But man,
now I just go doing flips just for the fun of it.
I tell you, man, there's nothing better than just to like roam around.
And I love the narrator of the game. He just
God,
that's the guy that plays Jerry from Rick and Morty.
Well, that, you know,
and
what
he's also on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
You know what I really love? I really love the narrative with Scaly Pete. Like, he was serious the entire game. He wasn't a joke.
You felt for the dude.
Yeah, man. He talked about his pappy.
Son.
Then the shark took his son. He was like, "I'm gonna get this shark. I'm gonna get him." I loved it, bro. And then at the end, when you see him, he's all torn up and just like, "Yeah, let's go." And then he had the epic Jaws death. I said, "Come on, man." I said, "Come on, come on." It was so. Man, I really am swallowing my words on this one because I said it, and it's you can find it on our pocket. I said it. I was like, I'm not playing this game.
Like when we were watching, I think it was the Game Awards, and we saw that trailer for MANEATER came out. I was like, yeah, MANEATER! I've been so looking forward to this game. You made fun of me.
Yeah, I did. You sure did, and I'm sorry. I really am because, man, I that's the type of game that I cannot wait for DLC. Like, that's the type of game you need, like, season DLCs for. And don't...
Oh, yeah. And they're already planning DLC, according to their Twitter.
Good Lord. Could you imagine? Like, I would totally run the gamut, too. I'd be like, uh-oh, Scaly Pete's wife is now here looking for, you know what I'm saying? Like revenge on the shark for her son and husband. You know,
I'm looking forward to more animal bosses. Like, we never got a colossal squid boss.
I was telling Chase about this. That's one of those things I would love to see. A colossal squid. Oh my God, are you kidding me? I mean, dude, as soon as I got up to the sperm whale and I'm like, wow, I only max out at 30 and this thing is at 40. That sucks. I'm like, how am I gonna eat this guy? But you know,
could go up against another mega.
I can't lie. I would like for the shark to be just a little bit bigger in some DLCs. Like, I really want to get to kaiju, not ridiculous kaiju size, but
I want my shark to be as big as it is in the Meg. That's how I want. I want kaiju sized shark.
Like that. I don't want like a Godzilla sized shark, you know. But I want
you just want it to be as big as an actual megalodon.
Yeah, dude. I want
see, that's the thing. A real life megalodon is how big you grow in that game.
No,
the megalodon shark was
it's 30 feet smaller than the max size of a megalodon.
So that's what I want.
Half the size.
So I thought you grew to 60 meters.
Nope, you grow to 10 meters.
Oh, So I hate meters, man. Give it to me in feet. I don't do with this metric shit.
In feet, you grow to 30 feet.
Oh, 30 feet. All right, that's cool. But no, I want
the max size of an actual megalodon is 60 feet.
Give me 60. Go a couple steps further. Give me 80 foot. Give me an 80-foot megalodon shark, the real king of the ocean, right? Like, that's what I want. Then just go fantastical.
I hear they limited the size to only 30 feet because if you were, like, say, 60 feet like an actual megalodon or 80 feet, places like Fawcett Bayou would not be able to be accessible anymore.
You would get stuck in the bog.
I don't know, man. My shark could dance across the land, bro. I'm telling you. He can hold his breath for his gills. He's a mammal.
Can you imagine going through the swamp and you just open your mouth and just swallow everything as you're going through the bog?
Oh, man. Come on, listen. Think about this. I'm putting this out there right now for the developers. Come Halloween, you have a Halloween-themed DLC where you grow your shark that big, right? And then maybe what you do in the DLC is you cut off some of those land parts and you just stay in the Gulf, right? You just stay in the Gulf area. Maybe expand the Gulf. The Gulf was huge, by the way. I was like, damn, there's a lot here. You stay in the Gulf, but then you get things like you do fight like the colossal squids, but you get even crazier. Because it's Halloween DLC, you do kaiju, you do the Kraken. You know what I mean? Like, you bring these things up. Maybe you get a licensing right to one of those old 50s sci-fi movies from America. Maybe you get to fight, I don't know, the beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Do some crazy stuff like that. I'm totally down for something like that, man. Or just make me fight another Meg. or the Meg. Could you imagine a DLC tie-in with the Meg and Jason fucking Statham? It's like a boss. Come on, man. Come on. I'll be all over it. Man, so yeah, that's me apologizing. That game is actually extremely fun, and it is a wonderful stress relief. Like the week I played that game,
I still go to my completed save file and just swim around and eat people.
It's insanity, man. It's insanity. All right, real quick before we go, what's your favorite? What's your favorite look for the shark? Like, what's your favorite?
My favorite evolution is the Shadow Evolution set.
Okay. All right.
It's the fastest. You got those vampire teeth that steal health with every bite. You got the poison that I can't tell you how many times I've gone looking for albino sperm whales, which do exist. You can find them.
Oh snap! I didn't find those.
I going on the hunt for albino sperm whales, and once I do find them, I just keep on pelting them with poison balls that come out when you tail whip, and just kind of just avoid them until they die themselves from poison.
Terrible person you are. Chase, what about you? What's like your favorite evolution?
So far, mine's Shadow too.
Wow, I like the Rock evolution. That's my favorite one. It's my go-to.
Oh, you like the Bone evolution? The Bone evolution is good for boats for when you're fighting hunters.
And it is actually good for sperm and orcas. Sperm orcas. Wow, my God. Sperm whales and orcas. Killer whales.
You guys said sperm.
Because once you have like I have that extra damage tail whip thing bob hooked up. So you know what I mean? Like I hit that tail whip and it's like 120% of health comes right over. It's like a ridiculous amount of XP drops. And I'm like, hey. And then I press, triangle or left bumper to get my power up. And then I just start torpedoing those sons of bitches. And I love it.
I think if in DLC, I think it would be cool if they added if they make the shark bigger and you can go explore more of the ocean, going to the Mariana Trench or something, and they do a Godzilla reference or something. You see Godzilla's fins in the ocean or something like that. That'd be cool. Or I also would like to be able to add more upgrades to my shark.
I hear coming in a free update that they'll finally be adding the tiger shark skin that physical pre-orders was only exclusive to.
Oh.
They'll be adding that in either a free update or a really cheap DLC.
I gotta be honest, man.
Definitely. Hey, but that's a game I like. I don't mind paying for it.
Yeah, that game is fun. Definitely. Again, I'm eating my words on that. The way a shark would eat me if I'm at the beach. That's why I was
gonna say games like that remind me of Peter Jackson's King Kong and stuff like that. Like when you play as Kong and stuff like that. I love games like that. The tongue-in-cheek type games, you know?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, it's the spiritual successor to Jaws Unleashed. And Jaws Unleashed was one of my favorite games from the PS2.
That was a great game. I love that game. It took me a while to figure out how to play, but that game was a great game. I love the music and eating all the people, the scuba divers and all that. It was also beautiful to look at, but at the time it was. I don't know how it is now.
Now, on that note, we're gonna wrap this up. I want to say thank you, Brother Chase, for being here.
Favorite game of the PS4 era, my friends. Go.
Oh, favorite game of the PS4? I thought I already said mine.
Say it again.
It's a coin flip. Horizon Zero Dawn or Spider-Man.
What about you, Andrew?
You're gonna put me on the spot like that.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to say it's also coin toss, not between Horizon Zero Dawn and Spider-Man, but between God of War and Spider-Man.
Oof, God, that God of War game. Yeah.
Mine's God of War.
Tweet to the both of y'all. I tell you, I don't want to say what I gotta say about that.
Hey, at least I am mad enough to admit that it's not my favorite God of War game, but it's still amazing in its own right. I love it.
I'm mad enough to admit that it is my favorite God of War game.
I prefer God of War 3. I do.
God of War 3 Remastered looks amazing. Oh my God, I played that a couple months ago. It's beautiful. Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us Gaming with the G Show. As you can see, it's like an actual game thing where we're all just hanging out, in a buddy chat, about to play some Call of Duty. It'd have been better if it was Resistance. But anyway, that'll do it for us, man. We thank you all for being out here, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.
We're having a Pong tournament.